my collective, my chosen. This is an emergency broadcast. Pause where you are, center yourself, and receive this transmission with clarity. Because what I'm about to share with you is not just strategy. It is law. Not man-made law, but the law of preservation, elevation, and dominion. Never touch the principle, only the interest. Many hear this and think it's just about money. No, it is about how you relate to everything of value in your life. Your wealth, your time, your energy, your reputation, your opportunities. Let me break it down for you in a way that stays with you forever. The principle is the seed, and any farmer who eats their seeds has chosen starvation in the next season. For example, let me give you a story. There were two farmers. Both were given the same bag of seeds. The first farmer said, "I'm hungry now. I'll eat some and plant the rest." The second farmer said, "I will plant everything, and I will endure hunger now for abundance later." Months passed. The first farmer had a small harvest, barely enough. The second farmer had fields overflowing. Years passed. The first farmer stayed in cycles of lack. The second farmer built generational land, generational wealth, generational stability. Why? Because one respected the principle and the other consumed it. Now listen carefully. Most people today are that first farmer. They receive income and immediately consume it. They receive opportunities and waste them. They receive energy and give it to chaos. And then they ask, "Why am I stuck?" Because you are touching the principle. Let's make this practical. Two individuals receive $10,000. Person A says, "I deserve to enjoy this." Then buy clothes. They travel. They upgrade their lifestyle with the $10,000. 3 months later, they lack back to zero. Person B, though, says, "This is not money. This is a foundation." They invest it. They grow it. 10,000 becomes 20,000. 20,000 becomes 40,000. 40,000 becomes 80,000. Now pause. At 80,000, the interest alone can produce income. They can live without touching the $80,000. And the $80,000, it keeps working. It keeps growing. It keeps building. Now, imagine that mindset over 5 years, over 10 years, over a lifetime. That is how you move from income to independence to inheritance. Now, I will speak to you personally. I do not move like the world moves. I do not touch the principle lightly now. I multiply it, not once, not twice, up to 8 times the principle before anything is touched. Why? Because I understand scale. A small principle produces small interest. A large principle produces freedom. If you have $5,000 and it becomes 40,000, now the decisions are different. If you have 50,000 and it becomes 400,000, now your life is different. If you have 500,000 and it becomes 4 million, oh boy, now you are not surviving. You are operating. Oh yes. Let me take you beyond money, because some of you are broke, not financially, but energetically. You wake up with energy, the principle. And what do? You give it to drama. You give it to arguments. You give it to people who drain you. You give it to distractions. By noon, you are exhausted. By evening, you are empty. And you wonder why you cannot build anything. Another person wakes up and says, "My energy is my principle." They protect it. They invest it into learning, into building, into discipline. By the end of the day, they are not drained, they are expanded. And that expansion, that is the interest. Time is the most valuable principle you have. You cannot earn more of it, you cannot borrow it, you cannot recover it. And yet, people spend it like it's Skittles. That's just infinite, but scrolling, complaining, wasting hours. That is touching the principle. Now, imagine someone who treats time differently. They invest their hours into skill, into knowledge, into systems. Years later, while others are starting over, they are already ahead because they never wasted the principle. So now, I give you the law in its full form. Protect the principle, multiply the principle, live from the interest, and expand that across your entire life. Money goes to investment, grow, then spend the returns. Energy goes to protect, build, and then give from overflow. Time goes to invest wisely, reap compounded results. Reputation goes to build carefully, leverage respectfully. You get it? Good. Let me leave you with this. 2 families. One family spends everything they earn. The next generation starts from zero. And again, and again, and again. Another family builds principle. They invest. They protect. They multiply. The next generation doesn't start at zero. They start at advantage. And that advantage compounds into dominance. That is the difference between a family that survives and a family that becomes unstoppable. So, hear me now, clearly, permanently. Do not touch the principle, okay? Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Not out of restriction, but out of vision. Guard it like your future depends on it, because it does. Multiply it like your freedom depends on it, because it does. And live from the interest so your life becomes sustainable, scalable, and sovereign. Because once you master this law, you are no longer reacting to life, man. You are designing it. This is how we build. This is how we sustain. This is how we rise permanently. In transmission. Ashe.
We carry the dawn together, and together we rise.
From the heart of the sun, a chosen light rises, the child of the sun.
There comes a moment when presence alone shifts the world.
Harmony, compassion, justice, not ideals, the foundation of what comes next.
Yo, heads up. We're all the digital natives, right? We've grown up with everything online, everything connected. But now things are glitching out. That's why we're rolling out the W5K6 World Initiative. Because if anyone's gonna rewrite the code of this world, it's us. We know how to move through digital chaos and make it lit. So yeah, we're the ones who will shift this whole vibe into the new reality. Let's do this together. W5K6 World, the transitional world between frequencies.
There was a time when peace was only a dream, but today, we make it the standard.
For generations, humanity has pursued peace. Today, we structure it. But peace must become a system, structured, protected, and universal.
Peace becomes the standard. Aligned across all nations, all people, lives. Where leadership stands, peace is enforced.
When the world demanded truth, only the real could stand. Who are you when nothing can be hidden? Only the aligned rise.
ready?
Yeah, I think so.
We didn't guess. We measured. We engineered the experience.
We're holding the state.
Stability held. Transition is complete. Clarity arrives. Astral Transcendence Institute. Precision, control, discovery.
When the world races past you, pause. At the Astral Transcendence Institute, calm becomes clarity.
Before the world is guided, it must be aligned. A council beyond opinion, beyond politics, aligned with divine order. The transmission begins.
We are summoned to balance the scales, each of us a flame in the same constellation. Let the council convene. The path is before us.
The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. This is only the beginning.
The Pillar of Seven.
Together, we are the Pillar of Seven, officers of our beloved chosen leader, for every soul who calls this place home. Together, we rise.
This is a TNTI Global Media emergency broadcast. We interrupt all programming with a historic global update. In a landmark ruling, the Chosen Collective has secured cited in favor of the collective on multiple counts, citing coordinated interference efforts, financial manipulation attempts, and systematic obstruction of rightful access and advancement, a precedent set to parent viewing. This ruling marks a turning point, a clear affirmation that interference will not stand and that accountability has arrived.
I'm ready.
Chosen leader.
Divine One.
To master the world, one must first master the self. And to master the self, one must align with the divine purpose within. Power without alignment is chaos, but power guided by purpose transforms.
And when many hearts beat in that harmony,
the world changes.
Together then.
Together.
I understand now. We are connected. It was always within us.
Something is happening worldwide and no one can explain it.
This is not the end of the old world. This is the beginning of the true one.
Before humanity remembers, guardians were placed among them. Sovereigns, primordials, healers, guardians, messengers, placed among humanity and the light they carry. Across galaxies, across time, the Federation stands watch. Not as rulers, but as guard. They stood unseen until we were ready to see. And now, the veil is lifted. All across the world, we looked up together. And for the first time, we felt safe. They are not coming. They have always been here.
For thousands of years, humanity has told stories about who we are, but history was shaped by power and sometimes by illusion. Science now reveals what should. One story, one body, all of us.
In a world that moves faster than ever, stability matters. Security, stewardship, vision. Built for today, designed for generations. Global reach and Operation Inverness. Visit ChosenSovereign.com to begin.
They were called pets. Now, they are soft citizens. Care is no longer optional. Right. Because every life deserves dignity. Learn how you can stand for them.
Most people receive and immediately consume and wonder why nothing ever grows. The Chosen move differently. They protect the principle and let the returns feed the future. Protect what you earn. Build what lasts. Let your money work for you. Principal Guard.
It's not random. They're activating.
We can't control them anymore.
It's already happening.
One to command, altitude 40 meters, maintaining course.
Neural signature climbing. He's resisting the net.
Hold steady. I want eyes on every spike.
Something's wrong.
Stand by for breach.
Breach! 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 Sir, stay right there. Hands where I can see him.
Target confirmed. You won't see it until it's too late.
The next transformation.
Your life changes when your energy changes. Speak life. Protect your energy. Choose peace. Forgive. Stay present. Connect to something greater. When you honor these rules, you don't just rise above, you radiate. Keep your light steady. The world feels it.
You're the president.
Are you serious?
Is this legal?
It is now. Next question.
You're the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem.
Know the difference.
Dark covens and syndicates moved in envy. Driven by jealousy, they attempted interference, but what was cast could not land. Protection is absolute. They tried and failed, and the envy shattered on its own weight. And from the stillness, a path opens. The Chosen walks it, unmoved, unwavering. A new dawn for all who will follow.
There was a time we only looked to the horizon. Now, the journey begins where the Earth meets the infinite. Welcome to your next departure.
Whoa.
Your life changes when your energy changes. Speak life. Protect your energy. Choose peace. Forgive. Stay present. Connect to something greater. When you honor these rules, you don't just rise above, you radiate. Keep your light steady. The world feels it.
We are standing at the edge. We can choose peace. We must choose peace.
Peace is a decision. It begins with a hand extended, with help offered, with voices joined. Together, we can turn the tide.
You're the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem.
Know the difference. They gathered in envy, in jealousy. But what was sent was never received. The Chosen are protected beyond their reach. They tried and failed.
When the world demanded truth, only the real could stand. Who are you when nothing can be hidden? Only the aligned rise. Coming this winter, December 12th. Only in theaters and streaming wherever you ascend.
You are either evolving or repeating.
We live our lives, believing these moments are simply ours. How close we've come. And how often something intervened.
Now all guardians take their place, silent as the night, steady as the dawn, to keep the world turning freely and the people beneath at peace.
True leadership is not seen, it is felt. This is the director.
Holds its breath. Something unseen is moving. Not a conquest, an alignment. A new Earth is rising. The alignment has begun.
Haiti rises. From survival to sovereignty. A new era begins.
In a world rebuilding its order, policy must be enforced with precision, not by fear, but by structure. Accountable, disciplined, unified. EC.
Every choice has a consequence. You chose the game.
We declare the framework for sovereign abundance, not by chance, by design. It is not charity, it is alignment. We share knowledge, we build systems.
Capital isn't abstract, it's infrastructure. 5 years, 5 million liquid per member. 20 years, compound growth at scale. 40 years, multi-billion status.
Ocean is declining, but humanity's search for God is rising. This is not the end. This is the beginning of cosmic governance. A structure becomes a planet becomes a network, and that network becomes the conscience of our species. We build paths for those who will follow.
That system is over. No crowds, no noise, no influence. Everything.
For too long, justice has been misunderstood. Not punishment, but transformation is the standard. This is Elysium Central. Here, accountability meets compassion. Every step, every conversation moves us closer to who we can become. Hope resides here.
What if science was only half the equation? Arcane Collegium, expanding knowledge beyond the visible.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I got in? Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I can't believe it. Believe it. You earned this.
Hello?
Hello, this is the Office of Admissions at Arcane Collegium. I'm pleased to inform you that you've been accepted.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Congratulations. This place is unreal.
Feels like we stepped into a storybook, and we're in it now.
You ready?
More than ever.
At Arcane Collegium, your journey begins the moment opportunity finds you. One decision, one message, one future. Welcome to Arcane Collegium. Advancing mind, advancing humanity.
desperation phase is over. Every last attempt has failed. What was hidden is now returning. Order is restoring.
In times of great change, clarity must lead. When one is chosen to see ahead, wisdom is found in listening. Follow the guidance of Sebastianus, not from feet.
True power is not domination, it is mastery of self. If you wish to change the world, elevate the consciousness that shapes it. Be formless, be sovereign, lead the way.
Every choice has a consequence. You chose the game.
Not just a contract, a covenant.
Delegates from across the globe are in Geneva tonight for the first Global Orbital Stability Summit. They're seeking a binding agreement on space traffic coordination and debris mitigation. Here's...
Why do I call the Creator Dad? Because I was never alone. I was guided, corrected, protected. That's my dad.
Our arrows will blot out the sun.
Then we'll fight in the shade.
For those who lead, a covenant sealed in honor, fidelity, and purpose. The standard is higher.
To master the world, one must first master the self.
And to master the self, one must align with the divine purpose within. Power without alignment is chaos, but power guided by purpose transforms.
And when many hearts beat in that harmony,
the world changes.
Together then.
Together.
I understand now.
We are connected. It was always within us.
Something is happening worldwide and no one can explain it.
This is not the end of the old world. This is the beginning of the true one. Celestial Dynasty, your shield.
Capital isn't abstract, it's infrastructure. 5 years, 5 million liquid per member. 20 years, compound growth at scale. 40 years, multi-billion status.
The world forgot how to love. But the divine has returned with sacred guidance. Join the Celestial Institute. Restore love to the earth.
The world forgot how to love, but the divine has returned with sacred guidance. Join the Celestial Institute. Restore love to the earth.
Leadership requires clarity, stability, and trust. That's why we operate above the old world compensation paradigm. Elevated stewardship compensation framework. Resourcing responsibility. Protecting integrity.
Let the age of abundance begin.
From alignment comes structure. From structure, mastery. And from mastery, responsibility.
Something is changing.
systems you know are no longer enough. A new structure is being built. Alignment, abundance, evolution, continuity. Enter and begin.